I spoke a little bit about Huang Ephedra in my description of Jingjia Schizenepita. The Jingjia Schizenepita being the gentle release exterior, and the Huang Ephedra being much more like the kaboom, let's really release an exterior that has gotten very shut, very cold, and very wet. Boom. And when we do this, there's always going to be something in the formula that helps you hold on to yourself. I remember when I was doing meditations on the herbs very early, and back in 1989, I was just doing meditations on each of the herbs. And when I did a meditation on Huang Ephedra, I had an out-of-body experience. I felt like I was just like, boom. And it took me half an hour to get back in again. There's a kind of boi-oi-oi-oing that's just out beyond the boundaries of the self. A very common experience of this is the experience of going, wow, look at that. I think you come up and wow. I think that this must be the goal of most marketing, right? It's like new, improved. You see those things with the like burst marks, new, improved. Whoa. And the person comes up out of their humdrum selfhood to go, oh, not self. I've forgotten all about myself. Now that I see these shoes or that hat or that frisbee, never mind me. It's all frisbee now. Whoa! All the old, same old self, it's just out of the way in order to go into a state of pure awe. What is thrown out, I have to say, I have used Huang Ephedra in formulas for asthma that is very severe, like asthma attacks, when you're like, you are shut in. You can't get out to reach the sky. Or for metal types with very phlegmatic, deep, shut in depression, where no fresh air can get in there. Nothing is sparkly, nothing is bright. You're just trapped in your apartment with curtains over all of the windows. A very short-term usage of Huang Ephedra will help rip the lid off the casket of the self, to blow off the dust and the snot and the gloom back into the world where, like above the cloud layer, there is sun, oh my God. And then, of course, because Huang Ephedra also descends the fluids, if we're talking about a physical cold, usually the person urinates out excess urination. But if we're talking about a depression where they're just stuck in their wet coffin and you blow it open and they're like, usually they start crying. Like, because that dull depression, you don't weep in it. There's no reason. It's just like, this is just how it is. So it's like, oh, and then the sky clears. I had an experience like this once. I was at a faculty meeting at Academy for 5-Element Acupuncture. We would all fly in, and I caught a really bad cold. And I was just lying there wrapped in my coat and blanket. This is Florida, okay. Leaning against the wall while the meeting was going on. And towards the end of the second day, I had this revelation that I was an herbalist and that there was actually an herb dispensary just at the other side of the room. So I put together a formula that it was a Ma Huang formula, and I think it was ginkgo or something that was doing the thing that kind of holds you in while everything's going boosh. But we didn't have it. So I thought, well, I'll substitute something else, but I don't really know the proper proportion to put in to balance the Ma Huang. So I winged it. I did something or other. I took the formula. Then I went, it was time for lunch, and I went down to this deli, and the formula hit when I was in the deli. I don't really know exactly what happened. All I know is that all of a sudden, all of the sounds were much louder and all the colors were much brighter. And it was kind of like it was all happening right in my face. And a lot of other people were yelling at me saying, "Hey, lady." But I was so upset. And they're like, they're yelling at me and everything's too right. And I just went outside, sat on the curb, sobbed, just sobbed, like huge sobbing tears coming down, while with no particular emotion. Inside, I'm going, too much Ma Huang, I think. I just cried, and all these tears and snot came out of me, and then I was done. I wasn't sick anymore. It was just over. So we don't all have to repeat my experiments or my errors. I'm just wanting to convey the feeling of new, improved, and ripping off the damp curtains and the casket of your life to get out of your own boxed in, shut in gloom to what's new right now, what's actually blowing in the wind, and catch some sunshine. So that's my heart. It's a bit dramatic.